footage has emerged proving WNBA referees definitely have an agenda against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
New footage has emerged showing WNBA referees blatantly ignoring Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in an extremely disrespectful manner. The video is so compelling that even casual fans are demanding that these referees be fired immediately. This goes beyond poor officiating. Many are calling it outright corruption captured on camera, and the league can't ignore it. What is the most obvious instance of referee bias you've ever seen in sports?
Some controversy on that last play, no doubt about it. In my opinion, it looked like Natasha Cloud probably fouled her. It was not called. The referees love to swallow.
I've been covering basketball for years and thought I'd seen it all. But what happened during the Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty game wasn't just bad officiating. It was a masterclass in how to undermine the integrity of professional sports while the entire world watched.
You see on the last play from Caitlin, and then on top of that, what do you think of your team's late game execution?
I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing,
The footage that has surfaced is so shocking it makes you question whether these referees should even be allowed near a basketball court, let alone officiate professional games. It shows 3 men in striped shirts literally turning their backs on Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and the entire Indiana Fever bench, while the players try to get their attention about obvious missed calls. Before we dive into this damning evidence, let's look at what led up to it. The Fever went into that game knowing they'd have to face more than just the New York Liberty's defense. They also had to contend with what's becoming a troubling pattern of officiating that seems aimed at holding Clark and her team back.
The refs messed up 3 calls in the last 3 possessions of this game. First, DeWanna Bonner gets absolutely destroyed, no call. And then Sabrina Ionescu makes the contact. And this is the worst one. There's 1 foul. There's 2 fouls. Then she holds her, watch this, with her shoulder and on her arm.
The numbers don't lie, and they're staggering. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy isn't just bad luck. It's statistically impossible given how aggressively the Indiana Fever attacked the rim that night. Even Stephanie White, who is usually diplomatic about these things, couldn't hide her frustration any longer.
The way that the game's been officiated for you guys, how did you see the foul that was not called, or a lack of foul, on the Bonner play, and then follow it up by Lexi Hull getting called for the foul?
I thought it was egregious, honestly. I thought it was obvious. I felt like AB got one, had one going to the rim. They're in rotation. DB's was crazy. And then Lexi's, I felt like equally, we talk about, coming into the path, and it was an offensive player veering into the defensive player's path.
Stephanie White's post-game comments were revealing. She didn't just point out the free throw discrepancy. She called it egregious and said the disrespect toward the team has been unbelievable. When a professional coach uses words like that, it's clear the situation has gone far beyond normal officiating errors. What makes this even more frustrating is that the WNBA spent the entire offseason promising improved officiating. The league implemented assessment programs, emphasized accountability, and made bold promises about improving the quality of officiating. Kathy Angelbert herself stated that referees would be held to higher standards this season. So, where are those higher standards? What we saw wasn't just subpar officiating. It was so biased that even my 4-year-old nephew could spot the problems from across the room. And believe me, he's usually more interested in cartoons than basketball. The most damning evidence came in the form of video captured by a fan during a crucial moment in the game. As the Indiana Fever players desperately tried to communicate with the referees about missed calls, all 3 officials deliberately turned their backs and ignored them completely. Not one referee, not 2, but all 3 simultaneously decided that Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull didn't deserve acknowledgement. This wasn't accidental or a momentary lapse. It was a coordinated act of disrespect toward professional athletes who were simply trying to understand why obvious fouls weren't being called. The visual is shocking. Imagine 3 professional referees whose job is to uphold the integrity of the game, literally turning their backs on players attempting a respectful conversation about calls. This is behavior you might expect from middle school officials having a bad day, not from referees in the world's premier women's basketball league. And the disrespect didn't end there. Throughout the game, there were repeated instances where contact that would normally result in fouls was completely ignored whenever it involved Indiana Fever players. There were fouls so obvious that replay clearly showed hands grabbing jerseys and arms, yet they went uncalled. Physical contact in the paint that would normally send players to the free throw line was treated as routine when it happened to Caitlin Clark and her teammates. The most egregious example came at the end of the game during a crucial possession. With just 1 second left, Clark was trying to get open for a potential game-winning shot. The footage shows her being grabbed, held, and impeded in ways that would normally result in flagrant fouls. Yet the referees didn't call a thing, allowing the New York Liberty to escape with a win they hadn't earned. What makes this even more infuriating is that these same referees had no problem calling minor fouls on the other end of the court. Light touches that barely registered as contact sent Liberty players to the free throw line, while Fever players were being blatantly fouled with no calls. This inconsistency wasn't just noticeable, it appeared intentional. And the statistics confirm exactly what our eyes were seeing. The Indiana Fever attempted far fewer free throws than they should have, given their aggressive style of play and the contact they endured. Meanwhile, their opponents were sent to the line on plays that normally wouldn't result in fouls. The math simply doesn't add up unless bias is factored in. This isn't the first time we've seen this pattern. Throughout Caitlin Clark's second professional season, there has been a troubling trend of officiating seemingly designed to limit her impact. Whether it's allowing defenders to play more physically against her than they would with other stars or ignoring obvious fouls when she's the victim, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. What's most frustrating is that this isn't just hurting Clark, it's hurting the entire WNBA. The league is experiencing unprecedented growth in viewership and fan engagement, largely thanks to Clark and the excitement she brings to the game. When referees actively undermine games through biased officiating, it damages the very product that's driving the WNBA's growth. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have faced a pattern of unfair calls, ignored fouls, and phantom penalties, while opponents receive preferential treatment. Video footage and statistics clearly show the bias, yet the league has offered only generic statements, taking no real action. This isn't about one player or one game. It's about protecting the integrity of women's professional basketball. The WNBA must investigate, hold officials accountable, and ensure fair competition before fan trust and the league's credibility are irreparably harmed.